Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. We're going to go on ahead and get started. First off, my name is Erin Fiedler. I'm an adult epileptologist based out of Dallas at Baylor University Medical Center, and I'm here with Michelle Chu. She's a pediatric epileptologist at Boston's Children's Hospital as well. And both of us are delighted and excited that everybody's here today, either in person or in the future. From the recording to learn a little bit more about our annual meeting. It's a really exciting time for all of us in the epilepsy community. For those of you who are first timers or just needing a quick refresher of what we have available and what we offer at our annual meeting, we're really excited to be able to talk to each of you a little bit more about that. So we can go on ahead and get started. Of course, just a quick rundown of what we'll be talking about today. Myself and Michelle will go through a little bit of the basics of our meeting, and then of course the meat and potatoes, what we have to offer educationally, programming-wise, in person, digitally, and as well some other features of our annual meeting, including things like our poster hall and other off-campus offerings, as well as some tips and tricks, especially if this is your first annual meeting. It can be a little overwhelming of where to start. So we'll be going over all that together. Throughout the time, Michelle and I will be talking about these topics. Please feel free to put questions in the Q&A portion of our chat box, and we will be sure to address them at the end if they haven't been directly addressed throughout the presentation. All right, thanks. So, of course, the basics, when is the meeting? Hopefully everybody's ready to go. We're only a couple weeks out, but our program will start December 5th. It's going to be in Atlanta at the Georgia World Congress Center. It's in Building B. Our educational programming will start on that day on the 5th, but the exhibit hall opens on the 6th. Just wanting to bring that to people's attention if travel plans are changing or you have more flexibility with driving, or if you need to cut things short by a day or so. But of course, the program is completely from the 5th to the 9th, with the exhibit hall from the 6th to the 8th. And of course, just some faces to some names, some people who have helped make this happen or really brought this from the ground up. This is our leadership with the AES. You'll see different people throughout their time there. Look for their names, their badges, who they are, say hi. They're obviously very friendly. I'm told they're all very nice. I've met most of them and they're very nice. Go ask them what they're going to and what they're interested in so you can find a buddy to sit with and make a new friend. So starting with the big thing that most of us are excited is the educational aspects and what we have offering at AES. Now, when you hear about all these different types of sessions, the biggest educational component, or the thing that everybody's most geared up for, is our annual course. This is the big mainstay of our meeting. It's a full day program. It tends to be in the largest lecture hall, and it's broken down into 4 different sessions. There's multiple presenters, multiple times for Q&A, and there's a lot of different breadth it can cross in terms of clinical, research, translational, surgical, non-surgical, etc. It's really beneficial for different people in different aspects of their career. So highly recommend taking a look at this. This is typically recorded if that's something for you to consider when you're talking about looking at multiple sessions at the same time. We'll talk about that a little bit more. But the annual course, definitely look out for that when you get your program. There's a number of workshops throughout the time there when you're looking at your programming, and these will vary based on your interest to take a look. Again, basic science, clinical skills, there's investigator workshops, surgical skills as well. And these also can vary based on your appropriateness for that workshop, surgical, in training, post-training, early, or non-clinical as well. Some CME is offered for these, so just take a look, keep track throughout your time there. Next, special interest groups. These, I think, are the most exciting portion of the conference, just on a personal note. There's a lot of different special interest groups that AES has. We have special dietary therapies, pediatrics, epilepsy in the elderly, stroke related, critical care, women's issues, pregnancy, work-life balance. There's a lot of really great groups, and the topics will change from year to year, and they tend to be smaller based, and you're with other people who are just as passionate about it. For me, every year I always seek out the women in epilepsy and pregnancy related, because that's a passion of mine, and it's really nice to talk to other people who have ideas about it. And those topics within those special interest groups will change from year to year. May that be clinical, research, investigative. Some offer credit, very few number are recorded, which you'll find out more about the difference between those when we talk about digital select. I trust some of you guys are already familiar with the digital select option, but these are in-person programming highlights when you're here. Other highlights, we have different symposia, exchange lectures, professional development. Again, these will all be outlined when you are able to look at the full program. There are scientific exhibits that are sponsored that may be present on campus or off campus. So there are educational opportunities even beyond our time in, Building B when we're all there in Atlanta. Some of these industry supported exhibits can also be helpful off campus. Something that we also didn't necessarily highlight, it's not during AES, but it's still related for the American Epilepsy Society. Some of you guys may have gotten emails about the in-person hopscotch training. There's a virtual training that's taking place December 2nd, followed by an in-person one on December 4th in Atlanta. And that's another great educational program highlight if you're interested in trying to learn a little bit more and helping your patients with memory care. The poster session and walking tours is something that's been expanding dramatically each year for AES and is something that people really enjoy. This is in the exhibit hall. As I mentioned, the exhibit hall is not open every day, but it's open the vast majority of the day, the days at AES. With all of these, the exhibit hall will open and individuals be out by their posters and presenting their particular research. There will be walking tours throughout the time of AES. What's great is you don't need to sign up for them. You can go to the poster concierge and they'll help you get started. There's different walking tour themes. So people will walk you in a small group of individuals throughout the hall, some different highlights of posters that are interesting, and that you can talk to the presenters and get to know a little bit more, and also feel a little bit more empowered and have some confidence to ask questions, because understandably it can be hard sometimes. Some of the topics are seen below, like clinical epilepsy, translational research, neuroimaging, etc. There'll also be different platform sessions based on particular interests. So spend some time walking around the poster session hall. It's supposed to be a really low stake situation a lot of times to get to know others and see what's out there research wise. Now, digital select, as I mentioned, all of these offerings are wonderful when you're in person, but it can be really hard to be in two places at once. That's why it's really great that we have a lot of these particular sessions recorded. And the digital select is available for those who have a multi-day registration with the AES annual meeting. And then, of course, some of you guys can just select digital select on its own if you're not able to be there in person or if you're working. With that, a couple weeks after the conclusion of AES, particular programs will be available on demand, where you're able to watch them back in real time. The Digital Select platform online is really easy to use. Essentially, you follow the same program and are able to select items and filter through them. You still can collect CME, but I also say it's important if you're going in person to take a look at what is being recorded. Because if you need to make a decision between two things you're interested in, you can note that you can watch one later. And the expiration on this digital select is 90 days after it's released. So you have a lot of time to do it. So you have a lot of times to continue to learn from AES. Now, networking opportunities is another big reason why we're there. So we can meet others in the epilepsy community, not just across America, but across North America and globally. We have a first timer meetup on Friday at 3:30. We welcome all of you to attend. Of course, first timers, early career, people who haven't been in a while and need a refresh. We would love for you guys to come, just stop by and say hello. On Saturday, there's a wine tasting and silent auction. Tickets are required, must be 21, available for purchase. On Sunday, there's an AES annual business meeting. This is for all AES members, which would be all of you guys. This is a great way to kind of learn all the things AES has been doing all year. You're a part of this organization. Get to know some of the members that you saw at the beginning of the presentation and some of the volunteer leaders. Maybe you'll get to see ways that you want to get involved and help advance this awesome organization. The early career membership reception and International League Against Epilepsy Young Epilepsy Session, or ILAES, also has a reception on Sunday at 4 o'clock. Again, we would love for each of you to come by, get to know others in your community, expand your outreach across the country and expand ideas. Again, a very low stakes, great opportunity to meet others who are in the same boat as you that want to learn, want to network, and be a part of this group. And then, of course, there's always informal networking, saying hello. I know it's a hard thing to do in today's day and age, but this is a great place to start. Everybody is here just for the same thing as you. So make an effort to try and say hello. And because again, that's the big thing is networking and getting to know others. You can learn a lot from others, and we all have that patient that moves across the country and you actually do need a referral and you actually do have a name of somebody. So don't be afraid to say hello to somebody. Use the flags or tags on their name tag to start a conversation. Have a little bit of a elevator pitch of who you are, just to say hi, kind of break the ice a little bit, why you're here, why you're a part of AES, what portion are you interested in, and what sessions you want to go to. Bring your business card, because like I said, you never know when meeting somebody is going to be a real benefit for epilepsy care, friendship, or anything in particular. So that's always a good thing to exchange. And with that, I'm going to hand this over to Michelle to kind of continue on.
Thanks very much, Erin. Great. So we'll start with the AES exhibit hall, and this is one of the cornerstones of the meeting. It's an excellent hub to learn about the latest treatments, tools, and technologies in epilepsy, and also connect with various epilepsy nonprofit organizations. There are actually more than 150 exhibit booths to visit, and they span a diverse range of organizations. So, for example, there are pharmaceutical companies there, as well as device companies. There are representatives from hospitals and healthcare systems. And then there's also representatives from professional societies, such as the International League Against Epilepsy or the Pediatric Epilepsy Research Consortium. In addition, there's also representatives from various nonprofit organizations, for example, Cure Epilepsy, or syndrome-specific or disease-specific groups, such as the LGS Foundation. And so it's an excellent place to visit. In addition to meeting with the exhibitors and also networking, they do provide boxed lunch there daily on a first-come, first-served basis. And you can see that the hours are listed on the screen on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Additional features in the exhibit hall, there are passport to prize drawings each day, and so that's a great fun way to win some prizes. There is also a career fair on the weekend, and so there are employers there, recruiters there who are actively recruiting on site and there to answer any questions you may have about job openings and other opportunities. And the exhibit hall is also situated next to the poster hall. And so it's great to see which posters you want to stop by, as well as see the exhibitors at the same time. Moving on to the AES mobile app, we would all really encourage you to download this mobile app. It's online now in the App Store, both for our iPhone users as well as on the Google Play Store for our Android users. And it's an excellent tool to help you efficiently navigate the meeting, plan your personalized schedule, and also connect with other attendees. And so, in terms of downloading the app, you do have to log in with your My AES credentials, and then you can navigate to different tabs. For example, there's the Agenda tab. There's a tab where you can search and filter through the program by date or by type of session. And then, when you do find a session that you're interested in, you can click the Schedule button to add it to your own personalized schedule. And that just helps with keeping you organized when attending the meeting. And I would say with the myriad of different sessions that you've heard about from Erin, a little planning really does go a long way in terms of optimizing your experience in Atlanta, especially since there are so many concurrent sessions. And so it'll be really helpful to peruse what's being offered and to prioritize by your clinical or research interest, by the speakers you want to meet, or whether or not the session is recorded. And there are also maps that are available within the app, and they'll be helpful because, as we know, the GWCC campus is a very large venue, and so it's great to have the maps as a reference. Credit claim will be live in the app as well as on the AES website once the meeting begins. And there's also an attendee directory as well as an exhibitor directory, and you are able to find those attendees and text with them so that you can make connections that way as well. Now, as we know, the AES meeting tagline is "This is where you belong," and that really does speak to the ethos of the meeting. As you know, the AES is committed to supporting educational and scientific dialogue and to fostering a really welcoming community in which all participants feel safe, included, and able to contribute fully. And so we do have a code of conduct that you can refer to, and the FAQs are also very helpful. So those can be found on the AES website. A note about photography, video, and audio recordings. So those are not allowed, but as you heard from Erin, many of the sessions are recorded, and you'll be able to refer to those on Digital Select several weeks after the conclusion of the meeting. The exception is that for the in-person poster hall, you are able to take photos as long as there's no card on the poster that indicates otherwise. A few other notes, please do be punctual to sessions. They do try to start on time, and seating is first come, first serve. And please do wear your badge for the entirety of the meeting. Great. So in terms of getting ready for AES, it's really helpful to make a plan. And in terms of learning plans, I think one of the questions to reflect on is whether or not you want to prioritize depth versus breadth, just because there are so many sessions available. For example, if you do have a clinical or research niche in, let's say, epilepsy surgery or epilepsy genetics, there are likely enough sessions there where every session you attend at AES is really focused on those areas. On the other hand, if you want to go for breadth, there are a smattering of different topics that you can get exposed to by attending the larger courses, such as the annual course and the symposium. And there's a variety of topics that are discussed in those sessions that are both important and timely. So again, please do look at the AES online planner to identify what sessions you can't miss and review which ones will be recorded so that you might be able to refer to those after the meeting. In terms of networking, Erin has already talked about many of the opportunities for that. I think it's very helpful to be prepared. So knowing who you want to meet, and you can browse the speakers at the various sessions. You can look to see which presenters will be available to speak at the poster halls, and you can peruse the attendee directory in the app. And at the same time, leaving some room for spontaneity as well and serendipity, because you never know who you'll just by chance sit next to in your sessions. There is the poster hall, as mentioned, and there is the e-poster gallery that will be available in the mobile app. And so you can browse the abstracts, the authors, and select which posters you want to stop by ahead of arriving in Atlanta. Next slide, please. Great. Some more logistics. There will be an email within about a week of the start of the meeting to go over some last minute information and details. When you do arrive at the GWCC, there will be signs there to tell you where to pick up your badge at the registrations counter. One feature is that there will be a ribbon wall in the registration area. You can say hello to the AES staff there, and there will be a specific first timer ribbon that you can add onto the bottom of your badge. And then the app, as mentioned, contains the maps and floor plans to help you find your way. And many of you probably already have booked your AES accommodations. If not, there's an AES list of official hotels that you can find at this link. And another note is that AES is sharing the convention center with another organization, the SEC, that same weekend. So please do plan ahead and expect longer transit times, longer Uber waits, and you might bump into attendees from the other conference as you make your way through the convention center. Great. In terms of what to bring, I would say most attendees wear business casual apparel. Some tips, of course, bring a sweater or a jacket for the conference rooms. Comfortable shoes for walking is very important. The venue is very large, and sometimes the sessions are not next to each other, so be prepared for a bit of walking. Of course, bringing digital devices or paper and pen for notes, business cards, and then also bringing a water bottle because there will be refilling stations available throughout the venue. And that segues into our food and beverages. As mentioned, there will be lunch in the exhibit hall that's served on a first come, first served basis on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And then throughout all of the days, there will be coffee and tea breaks, as well as refreshment breaks for most of the days. All right, well, we've covered a lot of information through this webinar. For additional details, please visit the AES website. As mentioned, there's also going to be emails from the AES to registrants. There's the online planner and the mobile app. And for specific questions about registration and hotel, please feel free to reach out to that email address listed there, aes@merits.com. And then when you're on site in Atlanta, please feel free to say hi to the staff in the registration lobby, and there will be event staff throughout the venue who will be wearing staff lanyards and badges. And so feel free to touch base with them if you have any in the moment questions or for navigation instructions. Great. Well, thanks so much for joining the webinar. We hope you're starting to get excited about coming to Atlanta, and we look forward to meeting you there.
I see we already have a couple great questions in our Q&A chat. Michelle and I will go on ahead and read them out and just answer live. And if that stirs more ideas, feel free to type them in the Q&A box. Our first question is regarding the CME meetings. If we need to register ahead of time, is there a session that's full? So with all of these meetings, all of the annual course, investigator workshops, SIG, etc. All of these are open where you're able to just walk into the room. When you see the planner or the program, you'll be able to see what room all of these are located in. So you can walk into it and find yourself a seat. That's why when you're going through and you're using the mobile app or the planner, you can keep track of what you've been to, and later you can submit for CME in that way.
I would just add, some of you may have already registered for the trainees on the call. There are specific sessions where pre-registration is required, such as the resident EEG course, resident epilepsy surgery course, and the AES Fellows program. So those are specific sessions where pre-registration is required, but for the vast majority of sessions, there's no pre-registration.
Michelle answered this, I think, a little when she was speaking. If you're coming later, if you're not coming on the 5th, let's say you come on Saturday or Sunday, or your only day was Monday, how do you obtain your badge? There's a registration lobby in the main area. It typically is located across from the poster exhibit hall, and they can help you locate that and get your badge at that time. If you're having a difficult time, of course, just flag down any staff and they will be able to help you find your badge. Are bags allowed inside the conference center? That's a good one. Part of what Michelle was talking about with us sharing our conference center with another organization at the same time, there'll be certain areas where there might be a little bit of heightened security where you may have to have your bag checked. But if you follow specific signage from, let's say you're staying at the adjacent Omni Hotel, if you follow the signage for AES, you will be able to avoid that additional security screening, if I have that correct, Shauna. Otherwise, bags are allowed in the conference center within reason. Um, when will the e-posters be available in the app? I don't believe I have that answered. And anybody?
I am happy to answer that. The posters are embargoed until Friday, February 5. And so that morning, as soon as the meeting opens, we will open up those posters, those e-posters, and you'll be able to get to them through your app.
With regards to the exhibits, I believe they're sorted alphabetically on the AES app. But if you click on each of the organization names, then it provides additional details, um, including if it fits with your interest in patient advocacy, for example. I'm not sure, Shauna, if there's an additional way to sort through, but I have the app open and it looks like it's alphabetical.
It is, though, if you are, I have the app open as well. So I'm looking at the app now. If you go into the exhibitor button on the homepage of the app and click the filter button in the upper right-hand corner, then you can see all the categories. And for the person who typed the question in, patient advocacy group is one of those categories. So you can click on that and go visit those folks.
Looking at our Q&A box, it's empty right now, but that doesn't mean you don't have questions. Yay. Okay, good. Will this PowerPoint be available? Yes. This is recorded right now, so you'll be able to have access to all of this. We said, I think the estimate was about an hour, but don't hold us strictly to that. But within reason, within the next day, you should have access to this information. Well, great. So we're really happy that all of you guys could be here today to learn a little bit about this wonderful conference, and we're really excited to have all of you there. It's a really great educational time, really great networking time. You'll meet some wonderful people from multiple areas of the country and the world, and we really hope that you're able to get to some of our networking events. Look out for those. And again, all this information will be available for everyone here now and who are unable to make it in the near future.
Thanks again for joining, and look forward to seeing you guys in Atlanta. Hope you have a great time at AES.